Wii Sports Resort has a very long and interesting history that I will not go into right now because I don't care about that. I only care about this run. A run from February 28th, 2021 by maybe the most famous Wii Series speedrunner ever, Alaskaxp2. He had been looking to be the undisputed GOAT of Wii Sports for at least a decade up to this point, and would do pretty much anything to get that title. A little over 88,000 attempts from Alaska were poured into this category over multiple years, and all of those attempts led to this single run. The greatest run in Wii Sports history. And it's not even close. But how in the world did he even get here? Let's analyze this run in full detail.
Okay. Let's go.
Alaska starts in frisbee golf, since it's the most inconsistent sport for runners. In most top-level all-sports speedruns, frisbee golf must be perfect or the runner resets. Right away, we can see something very peculiar. The wind is at 510 miles per hour, and Alaska has to go all the way to the right to get the hole-in-one. But why is the wind going 510 miles per hour? Well, in normal versions of Wii Sports Resort, the wind can only go up to 30 miles per hour in each direction. But in 2008, a pre-release version was shown at E3 that allowed for the wind to be set at any given value, maxing out at 510. Of course, once runners found this out, it caused a massive scramble to see who could find a copy of this version of the game. And the lucky finders were Alaska, Vince, the creator of WindTrack, and Benson, with Benson being the current world record holder of all sports. With the winds in mind, Alaska has a setup for each hole since he gets the same wind every time, making it very easy for him to nail the hole-in-one on all 3 holes.
Oh my.
Now onto Retrowavey to analyze actual golf.
Now, onto golf. You can see Alaska goes into 18 holes in the menu. This will be important later. On hole 1, he gets a hole-in-one, which would normally cause a replay, but thanks to Alaskaxp2's finding a replay skip, you could skip any replay as long as you're holding every button on your controller besides plus and home while you're shooting the ball. On hole 2, Alaska again uses a setup and replay skip that Alaska found to get a hole-in-one and skip the replay. Now for the hole that everyone has been waiting to see, hole 3. This hole has a lot to talk about, but first let's rewind to Alaska in the menu screen. You can see him pressing 18 holes. If you press A and B at the same time while menuing in this version, the game thinks that you go into the game, but it also thinks you backed out of the menu. Because of this, Alaska can go into classic C3 hole while the screen is black. But here's where it gets even crazier. If you do this strategy, the game gets confused and gives you 510 mile per hour winds, but only after a 2-hole grace period. Alaska only plays 3 holes and gets the 510 mile per hour wind on hole 18, the most useful hole to have strong wind on. Because of this, Alaska does a precise setup down to a sub-pixel and shoots at 3.7 bars of power, which in itself is an insanely hard thing to control. This shot is calculated so it goes off the tree and into the hole, which after it goes into the hole, Alaska does a first frame pause buffer and exit. When Alaska shoots the ball, he also presses pause at the same time. When you pause and shoot at the same time, the game doesn't know what to do, and your pause is held until your ball starts moving, which allows Alaska to pause on the first frame to exit the sport.
Bowling is next, and it's a real doozy, but I'll try to explain it the best as I can. Alaska does bowling with his Kinect sensor on. Only the astute viewer would notice that Alaska turns his Kinect sensor on in golf when he's splitting while he's exiting out of the sport. Because of the sensor, he can have more accurate movements, which is very important, seeing there are many frame-perfect tricks in the sport. The first trick we see is the 6-frame dance. What's interesting about this is that Alaska bowls the ball slowly on purpose, which does lose time but also makes the trick a lot more consistent. Alaska does this weird motion with his arms, but it actually makes sense, because the Kinect sensor thinks he put up a 6 because the Kinect sensor sucks at doing anything right.
X-Backs! X-Backs! I'm goddamn upstanding with this right now. X-Backs!
So it tells the game that the player is on the 6th frame. This is called Kinect sensor manipulation, and was accidentally found a few years back by that reason though, and was perfected by the Arizona Annihilator Retrowavey. On the next frame, Alaska actually messes up, but because of the sentient ball mode left on the E3 2008 version, by pressing minus, Alaska gets the strike, recovering from his mistake, and sets up the next trick in the run. In this part of the run, Alaska actually disconnects the Wii remote. This is a bug left in OG Wii Sports that allows him to only use the Kinect sensor and do the same strategy as before. However, since there's not another 6 frames of bowling to be played, the game just ends, and Alaska is allowed to quit out of the sport. With bowling done, we can say goodbye to the Kinect sensor. For now, at least.
In basketball, Alaska just does the normal strategy you use in basketball. Not really much to talk about here. Every runner has a different setup they use to get the ball out of their hands as fast as possible so they can move on to the next ball. I must say Alaska is definitely the weirdest one. He drained the 3 at the end, however, so I guess that's bonus points for him.
Alright, on to Ryan.
Swordplay is next. Alaska uses a secret code that's featured in a lot of older video games known as the Konami code. By pressing up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, and plus on the loading screen, exclusively on the beta version, it automatically skips to the final round and allows Alaska to complete swordplay and very quickly. Alaska loses a second here by hesitating to hit Ryan off the edge, but most likely because of nerves. But whatever, let's talk about power cruising.
Alright, I need to show you guys something cool, alright? Just give me a second to recuperate.
In power cruising, Alaska picks shoals on the menu, which is very important since it has boats. In the beta version, if you press A while interacting with a boat, it will warp you to some random point on the course. I don't know how the devs messed this up, but it's just in the game, I don't know. When Alaska found this strategy in 2019, he named it after his dear friend Owen Wood, because of his many childhood memories of going on boating trips with Owen. What an amazing story. Anyways, Alaska's ending is a bit rough since he somehow skips over the finish line completely. Because of Alaska skipping over the finish line somehow, as well as an overall bad exit out, Alaska unfortunately loses around 5 seconds on this split.
Okay, let's go. Dude,
Table tennis is next. This sport is extremely easy in Wii Sports Resort's beta version, since they hadn't really figured out the physics for table tennis yet. Giving the game lower gravity, which causes the player to hit the ball over the table on every serve, Alaska uses this to his advantage and actually lost instead of winning. This was at first banned, but thanks to a public vote, the strategy was allowed to be used in speedruns. Alaska loses a second since he whiffs on a serve, again probably because of nerves, but he was still on world record pace heading into wakeboarding.
God. Maybe not. Just keep calm. Okay. Sit there and do nothing's up.
Wakeboarding is a weird sport. In this version, there's a feature where if you crash, you lose 10 seconds on the timer. This was designed to punish the players, but in our case, it's actually a blessing. Alaska spammed this trick throughout the segment, and it only took 1 minute to complete wakeboarding instead of the usual 2 minutes it takes. And now we go into archery. The archery segment in this run might be the most ludicrous instance of luck as well as skill in this game that I've ever seen, maybe even in speedrunning, and I barely know how to explain it. Alaska turns on his sensor near the end of wakeboarding so he can use it in archery. If you had a Kinect in the early 2010s, you would know its feature of having a microphone attached to it. This will be very useful later on. Alaska starts by pressing Expert and doing the first stage like any other resort player would, by spiking the darts into the ground. On stage 2, maybe the craziest trick in speedrunning history is performed.
I hate Mondays. I hate Mondays. Dog!
What in the world just happened, you may be asking? Well, since Alaska had the Kinect microphone enabled, he screamed
I hate Mondays
when he shot the arrow. At the same time he did this, a solar flare shot from the sun and interfered with Earth's satellites just enough so that the game actually recognized Alaska's command, allowing the only known arbitrary code execution trick in Wii series, Garfield Skip, to happen. The chances of this happening is a number so big, I'll be here for 20 minutes if I count every zero in the number. Thanks to the precision of his shot, when the game recovers from the crash, it actually hit the secret target on the final stage, allowing Alaska to quit archery and move on to canoeing, as his old friend Ten Dog joined the VC, and Retrowavey explained canoeing.
In the beta version of canoeing, the canoe is actually double the speed it has in the actual version of the game. which clearly works in our favor. Alaska actually opts to do the duck finding game rather than the actual course, which saves him about 0.3 seconds overall, despite it being much harder. During the segment, Ten Dog mentions benders are a strat.
Benders are a strat.
Yeah, benders are a strat. Exactly.
Which is the silly hip motions that Alaska is doing right here. Alaska had a nice conversation with Ten Dog as Alaska completed the duck minigame in nearly world record time, giving him a huge lead going into cycling.
Shit, where's my nunchuck? Where's my nunchuck? Where's my nunchuck? Oh, there it is.
Alright, that's good.
Oh, yo, what's up, Epic and CMDR? How are y'all?
We got out first shot.
Come on, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Come on, turn around. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, guys.
I got out.
This is it. This is it. This is it.
In cycling, Alaska uses a strat called cycling brake turn, or CBT for short, to completely turn around and go in the wrong direction. The developers didn't think the player would be able to get into this area, and therefore they didn't add any collision on this side of the fence, allowing the player to phase right through it. The game then realizes you shouldn't be there and tries to place you back on the course. But since the devs didn't anticipate this happening, it actually warps you directly to the end, skipping the entire track. Epic Crossover, who was in the call when this happened, was falsely accused of cheating and was banned from the Wii Series Discord since he got this cycling skip in an actual run way before the rest of the community found out about it. Let's spread awareness with the hashtag #FreeEpicCrossover in the comments section. Just like that, we only have one sport left: skydiving.
Okay.
Alaska's heart rate was through the roof. There was no actual heart rate monitor on the screen, but after the stream, it was confirmed that he had a heart rate of 206 beats per minute. Alaska pulled off a very complicated strategy known as Gwen Skip. Using a DJ Hero turntable, for reasons we still don't know, you can actually use the DJ Hero turntable as a second controller. You can pull off a frayed perfect strategy when Gwen comes on screen, and completely skip the cutscene that makes Gwen so slow in the first place. Alaska had pulled off Gwen Skip flawlessly. In 2017, Alaskaxp2's started his speedrunning career as a runner simply trying to fit in and follow the rules, and having limitations on what he could do. But in 2021, Alaskaxp2 completely transcended Wii Sports Resort.
I can't believe it!
He is a creator of this community. He is a god. He proves time and time again that nothing is truly impossible. You can beat him down, but he'll get back up and slowly whittle you down into nothing. Alaskaxp2 is inevitable. And with that, that's the analysis on the greatest run in Wii Sports history. Me and Retrowavey would like to congratulate you on finishing this video and would encourage you to subscribe and like the video, actually. We would also like to wish you a happy April Fool's Day, and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.